And guys, Timeless here. Thought it was appropriate to sort of come on quickly and do a quick market update for you guys. It's been a hot minute since I've sort of given any sort of commentary on the markets, and the last video I believe I did was around sometime in July where I was calling for that squeeze up, and that aged quite nicely. So I just wanted to quickly come on and give you sort of my 2 cents on where I think the market's likely to go, and just sort of dispel any fears or concerns that you might have at this point. Obviously, everything I say should not constitute financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes. So you're gonna have to do your own research and definitely don't follow blindly. Before we continue, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsors of this video, Prime XBT. I've attached some links in the description below. So if you guys are interested in trying out a new exchange, I know a hot topic of contention right now is sort of the discussion around regulation and KYC. So Prime offers no KYC. They're a great exchange, and they also give you access to sort of global financial markets. If you're looking to dabble in Forex and equities and such, definitely have a look. If you use the link in the description, you're privy to a 50% deposit bonus using the promo code TimelessBeing. So yeah, that's out the way. I just want to quickly get on with this. I actually don't have a lot of time, guys. I've got to get on the road like pretty soon, and I'm actually last minute packing. But I just thought, given the spike in volatility today, I just wanted to come on and sort of give you, just a bit of commentary on how I think things might transpire. So yeah, I mean, guys, if you have been following me for a while, I was like super bullish down here. And without going on about why, one of the main reasons was sentiment. Sentiment was just piss poor down here. Everyone was like looking for 25K below. But more importantly, I was, paying attention to sort of the discrepancy between the cash market, so spot, and what was happening on the derivatives market, so your futures, your perps, etc. And it was because of that basis, that difference, I was quite bullish that, my thesis was the likelihood is that short sellers are probably offside down here, given the fact that we weren't really trending and we were just sort of going sideways and things were getting a bit murky. I was kind of confident or comfortable tacking on risk down there. And yeah, if you guys are following, I mean, go back and look at the tweets. I think I closed off my long from down here, like in the 48K region. Can't remember the number precisely. I was looking for 50K, but I just thought, you know what? I'm not very comfortable up here. And I'm sure you guys sort of, picked up on that, the tone, right? And I even sort of slowed down a bit of the tweeting because I just figured like every time I came on to sort of caution the crowd, so to speak, it was just met with like relentless backlash from a lot of people in my comment, in my feed. So, I guess in hindsight, it's once again one of those things. I think the market's in a very interesting place because personally, I think a lot of people were sidelined down here or sold their their positions, and then suddenly the market just went roaring for like days on end, weeks on end, and many people probably found themselves in a pretty precarious spot where they were like, how do I get in? Like, where do I get in? Like, I need to get in before this moonshots. And that was probably triggering a lot of anxiety, I can only imagine. So, that's kind of why I was also starting to get a bit cautious up here, is because I was thinking like, potentially the same market participants that were sort of out of the game down here are now starting to get in over here, upon confirmation. And so I'll take it back to, I was talking about earlier about down here, looking at the relationship between spot and futures. Same thing over here. We were starting to see, through funding, you could see it quite clearly that longs were starting to, pay to be in position. So it was quite rich to be long up here. Now, I know a lot of people might say, well, all the way from this point onwards, funding was elevated. Isn't that just an indication of trend, participation and all that sort of stuff? I'm all for that. But the thing is, the same way we were sort of going sideways here, we were starting to compress and sort of go sideways here. And, many people sort of made reference to this being vertical accumulation and, Typically speaking, yeah, I think consolidating under resistance is bullish, but consolidating under resistance when potentially the crowded position is, you know, people getting in long, it was a bit of a precarious situation. And if you just look, you know, excuse me, I don't know what's happening there. Right. Yeah, so if you see here, like we got all these unswept lows, right? All these lows up until this point, until today, were basically, untouched, unswept. So that was there was you can only imagine that as people were sort of longing this market from down here or whatever, they're raising their stops up. And you just get this cluster of stops that build up around these areas. And yeah, they're just hotbeds of liquidity. So, we've seen the manifestation of that today, right, in this massive sort of, liquidation event, so to speak. So I think yeah, it's one of those lessons again. Like you should be paying attention to sort of what's happening across the spot market as well as the futures market. And I want to just sort of quickly point your attention as well. One of the things for me was like over here, you can see volatility was really dampened and we were starting to coil, and you can see that in ATR. All ATR is average true range. You can find it on TradingView. It's just a rolling measure of volatility over 30 days, 30-day period. So you can see during this period here, as we're sort of starting to move up, ATR is trending down, right? So things are starting to get dampened. And what was kind of concerning for me today, it was like was seeing that these up candles, they were quite, every single candle, if you look at all these candles, really quite compressed. These are daily candles. Obviously, if you go down to lower time frames, things look a lot more emphasized, and you can actually catch a ton of good intraday longs and shorts in both sides. But my point, what I'm trying to get at, is you can see the compression on this. And for me, this last segment was very concerning. Was seeing the series of, again, this thing is doing that. Don't know what's going on. But you can see as the market was going up, the subsequent push up, candles were starting to get a little bit smaller, especially this one here. And more than anything, we're starting to see a trending down in volume, right? So for me, that was kind of a warning sign that momentum was seriously waning to the upside. And, I know a lot of people use even things like RSI. I actually have a bunch of mechanical scripts I've coded myself. Those things were printing, like, I'm talking about quintuple divergences across the board, all angled south, and on time frames that matter, right? Like from the daily upwards. So yeah, these were all sort of warning signs for me, and this is what we got. So I suppose talking about what's happened isn't really going to help, but I just want to provide some sort of, some sort of idea of where I think things might go in the coming days. So for me, look, I am no longer going to be quite bearish here. I think what has happened is a very good thing. I think this is just cleaning out people from the market. And if you're a larger participant, you need this kind of liquidity to fill your position. So look, we've just taken out this entire cluster. My worst case scenario, and I'm not expecting it to happen, but I can see us come down. It's happening again, guys. Don't know what's happening. I can see us come down here, guys, and take these lows out. That would sort of be the last area I would look to really then go long. But for now, I remain quite bullish. I think we got a big weekly close ahead. So I don't think that this is a trend ending move. I want you to also just sort of put your head out there and start observing the sentiment of your peers. I know a lot of people are calling for a complacency shoulder here, and this could be the beginning of a down move. I personally don't think, given the signature we've seen down here. So for me, guys, I am treating this as a buy the dip opportunity until proven otherwise. So I'll be going on holidays, probably a good thing because I won't overtrade this, and this is likely going to take a few days. I don't think we're just going to V out of here. We've just wiped out a lot of positions from the market, so this will take a little bit of time to heal. But I think that is the perfect recipe for continuation upwards. Um, yeah, just to run through some stats today. I mean, look at this, guys. I mean, we've gotten massive wipeout in open interest, aggregated liquidations, whatever, like in the millions, 500 million almost. The move is really swift, and this gives a clearer picture. We've just taken out all these stops, all this liquidity, resting liquidity below. So I guess what I'm just trying to say, guys, is you know, keep some composure to your like cool composure to your head. There's no reason to start calling for like the end um, of this market, and I'd start to look to building, yeah, to start looking to building longs. Probably not a bad place to start acquiring more spot, because for me, big picture, I think into the end of Q4, I think Bitcoin is going to probably end up testing the previous highs. So I might be wrong on that, but that's how I'm positioned. I'm not panic selling. You shouldn't panic sell either, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna probably wrap it up here, guys. I've got to get on the road, so I hope that's helpful.